if you're into small town drama, then I've got like a story for you, because my town's Facebook page is going crazy right now. And specifically, it seems like there's a great divide between millennials and boomers on this. And it's probably not surprising. Millennials and boomers don't agree on a lot of things, like what a house costs or what it means to be in the workforce or how to raise kids, right? There's a lot of things we don't agree on. But this seems to be setting people off. And so let me set the stage. We have a town meeting coming up because there is an override that is being presented for the town. The override will raise everyone's taxes. The reason this is being presented is obviously because of all of the economic things going on, but we need to increase the budget to support our schools and our town, etc. The boomers do not want this to pass because they don't want their taxes to go up. And a lot of what they're saying is, hey, I've lived here for a really long time. I deserve to stay here. You shouldn't price me out. I'm on a fixed income, which I can empathize with in a sense. However, many of these boomers live in these houses that they bought for $100,000 that are now valued over $1 million, right? And so I have empathy, but I also want to put it into perspective. Then the millennials, many of whom want it to pass. They want it to pass because if it doesn't pass, there will be budget cuts across all of our schools. All of the schools will have budget cuts, which will hurt students and the schools ultimately, as well as the teachers. And our town is known for having a very good school system. And so a lot of the parents are saying, hey, I moved here for the schools. I moved here specifically for the schools, and now you're telling me you're going to cut funding to the schools. And it's not just immediate, it's over the next few years. And here's the thing, it's not just happening in our town, it's happening in all of the surrounding towns. But here's the drama, right? People were fighting left and right in the Facebook group, but then on Saturday was supposed to be the meeting. And so obviously, hot button issue. Parents are really up in arms, the boomers are up in arms, everybody has their strong opinions. The town does not plan accordingly. Everybody shows up to the high school. They meet max capacity. They have to send everybody home. They have to reschedule the meeting because they did not plan for everybody to attend. And so everybody got babysitters, they scheduled childcare, all this stuff, and then they all got sent home within 20 minutes and it got rescheduled to a specific date. Well, it's been almost a week and we just got an email that they're changing the date because it just made sense. However, all the parents who now planned and scheduled around an original date have to rework their whole lives to make the new date work. And it is what it is. But this is also happening in the town next to us. And last night they had their meeting and they also all got sent home because they reached max capacity. And the towns are this is the thing about town meetings. Apparently, you have to do them in person. You have to be there in person. You have to stay for the whole meeting for your vote to count. And then it gets on the ballot. And this is just the law, apparently. And there's also a law that unless you're a U.S. citizen, you cannot vote in your town meetings, which is actually a big deal where I live because there is a pretty large immigrant population, mostly immigrants from India, and they're here on visas and green cards. And the wait list for that is very long. And so even though they pay taxes and own homes, they cannot vote in this. So they're going to be impacted by it regardless, but they cannot vote because they are not citizens. And so that is a whole thing in our town as well. But then in the town next to us, there's this one specific person who's trying to make it impossible for parents. So they provided childcare. And his goal was to make the meeting go so long that the childcare ends. And so all the parents have to leave. And if you don't stay the whole time, you can't vote. And in my mind, I'm if you know it will pass if all the parents are there and you're purposefully making it so that they can't vote, that should be illegal. I don't know. That just seems crazy. But so anyways, yeah, it is wild. And people are slinging insults and just being so violent in the Facebook group. It is crazy. And it's almost all, I'm not going to lie, it's almost all coming from the boomers. They're putting up these massive posts and then being surprised when the younger generation pushes back on it. And here's the thing, most people move to our town for the school systems. That's why they're here. That's why they want to be here. It's because the school systems are good. And so the fact that people were trying to cut funding is pissing a lot of people off.